Hi, I'm Josh Atwell, Cloud Architect with SolidFire with our good friend Rawlinson Rivera from VMware. And in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the future. I'm an old school operations guy, become an automation guy because I'm lazy and automation is better in my mind. And last year we saw Rawlinson working on a project. I was pretty excited. And you can tell by the look on his face that he's pretty excited about it too. And I think we're both excited about it for the same reasons, because this project allows consumers to make changes to their virtual machine and leverage a storage policy-based management in order to get exactly what they need. Rawlinson, talk a little bit about what you've done so far, and then let's talk a little bit about what the future looks like with this project.
Sure. Well, my approach to this was, let's consume storage, let's operate it, and let's manage it in the same way as which we manage compute. It should not be something that we think about too much. We architect it on the infrastructure side, we design it, we put it together, but it's consumed without any sort of second thought. For storage now, we have the ability to do that, because now that we have this policy framework that exists within vSphere, and there's this dual communication, bidirectional communication between the storage system and the vSphere framework, users or application owners will be able to define and tell themselves individually what their particular application, disk, or volume they want or need. In that, now they'll be able to actually offload a lot of these capabilities, a lot of these operations from the vSphere framework down from the stack down to the storage, which basically translates into performance improvements. But even more so, what happens after you've done initial provisioning? What happens after a new requirement comes along? What happens when your workload profile changes? Traditionally, what we do is that comes along, there's a service request, we have to find a time, a lot of validation, we have to reduce all these different risks that we are exposed to whenever we have to move data. Think about it when now we're able to dynamically be able to understand when I have an application's disk that has a particular profile, and this one has a particular profile during provisioning, but now this one has changed. Now I have the ability through this new sort of operating model and say, I want X capability. I don't want to necessarily tell you I want this particular storage disk type or whatnot. I want to tell you what data service, what performance profile I want. And dynamically, that gets to be satisfied and kind of given to provided and added to the application without any sort of human intervention whatsoever, which it's equivalent to what? Reducing risk at any, at all case possible.
Absolutely. And so what's been really exciting working with Rawlinson is that SolidFire is uniquely capable to go in, and when that consumer makes that change and decides, hey, you know what? I need to either ramp this guy up for end of quarter reporting, I need more performance because I'm dealing with an issue, they're able to go in and make that change, which is a traditional capability with what you've provided. But if they're being served by SolidFire storage, that change can happen on the storage system itself through our QoS profiles, make that change without having to move a single byte of data, which means that you mitigate any risk of migrating the data or any potential impact, because we know how sensitive some of these applications, owners, I should say, can be. And then, as you stated, you don't have to interact with IT. It's fully consumer enablement and minimizing any infrastructure impact. Nothing has to move. You just fundamentally change the underlying storage that serves it up, and then dynamically changing policies and making it available. Personally, I think it's going to be a pretty bright future for people who are leveraging vRealize automation, VMware vSphere, and SolidFire.
Absolutely.